All right. Good morning, everyone. Today's going to be, I got my socks on. Today's going to be a very mellow practice and kind of a self-care practice. As you can probably hear in my voice, I have a cold, um, and um, and I'm trying to honor that of not being 100% and not overdoing it, and taking care of myself in the process. Having said that, I did a little workshop class with online with a teacher whose name is Lynn Cremando, and she did some really interesting neck stretches and breath work that I wanted to play with today as well. So let's start by just sitting well and sit in a way that feels good to you. Maybe you're up on a blanket, maybe not. Make sure you're warm enough and comfortable. And then find your seat. Find the sit bones, maybe close the eyes and start to tap into the breath. And don't make the breath overly deep or over efforted. Just breathe normally and notice where you are, what your spine is doing, what the posture is doing, where there might be tension in the body. Try to soften down here. Often, when we are sick or injured or even dealing with something emotional, we will tend to push through it. I am one of those push through it kind of people, and I've learned over the years, and especially as I've gotten older, to try to honor the process and trust my body to move uh, and do what is right for it at the time. And if it's something we could all learn, that would be brilliant, right? Breathe in and out. And with the eyes closed, maybe you notice where in your body you are breathing. In other words, is it kind of all belly breath down low? Is it just the belly moving? Is it in the diaphragm area, right? Diaphragmatic breathing where you feel the sides of your body expand, or is it mostly in the chest? And just kind of notice it without changing it for now. We're going to play with it a little bit and notice if you hold the breath. Maybe notice where your spine is in space. Where is the head, shoulders, the tailbone? Good. One more here. And then allow the eyes to open and take either hand on either side of the ribs. So you're not down here at your waist or your hips. You're right at the ribs. And if this hurts, shoulders or anything, maybe you just do one side or you can reach across. I don't like that as much. But then just feel the ribs. So the diaphragm comes, basically right across the body here, separating the lungs from the abdomen and is the main muscle of breathing. And so, again, either eyes open or closed, as you take a deep breath in, feel this part of the body expand out. And then as you exhale, feel it draw in, almost like you were expanding out and then tightening a strap around this part of the body. Just don't overdo it. Don't over effort. Again, just breathe in, breathe out. Good. Two more, just like that. One more. And exhale. And release those hands. Maybe roll the shoulders. And then the second breath, again, working with the same area, and this is from Lynn Cremondo, is what she calls a shush, right? A shush. And she said, imagine you're in the library and there are people 8 tables away talking way too loud, and you just get so frustrated. You're like, shh, like shush, right? But this is not so forceful and it's long and soft. And the goal is to feel the whole rib cage, center of the body, draw in almost like a corset, right? It just draws in on the exhale and it releases on the inhale. And so taking a nice deep breath in and then and it is keep that going. It is your length, right? But don't force it. And just allow the ribs to expand in a normal inhale. And then basically breathing through the teeth, exhaling through the teeth. And keep that going, maybe 3 or 5 more times, feeling the whole side body drawing in toward the middle on that exhale. Two more. Last one. And then let the eyes open again if they've been closed. Roll the shoulders. And then just take one arm, reach it up, and take it back behind you. A small twist here. And then reach it up and take it back. Good. Take the arm up. Reach it behind you. Nice and easy again. And up, back. Good. One more here. And exhale back. Same thing, other arm, take it up and back. Good. Take it up and back. One more and back. And release. Good. Now imagine we're going to do just a little bit of neck stretches. Please be mindful of your particular neck. And so imagine a stick, and then there's a bowl on top of the stick, and that bowl is just going around the tip of your stick, right? So it's just kind of going around it like that. So imagine that same thing. It is the top of the spine and the head, and you're just going to do the smallest circle around the tip of the spine. And again, sometimes it's easier to close the eyes. Don't make this big, don't make it a lot. Try not to involve the torso, right? And you're just kind of rolling the head around as if you were going to draw a circle with the chin on a flat piece of paper. And if I try to over effort it, all of a sudden I feel my back coming into it. Good. And then just shift directions. Stay with the breath. And here's what I noticed. So this was part of the workshop that I did over the last couple days. Notice if your breathing shifts. And for me, what I noticed is my breath would either go shallow or I would just quit breathing and take it back to center. And when you carry a lot of tension in your neck and shoulders over a lifetime, right, the breath is affected by that, and you may be guarding without even realizing it. And just kind of notice how that feels. Maybe roll out the shoulders and then take right ear to right shoulder, but don't overdo it. Just let it go where it is going to go. And then take it to neutral. Good. Drop it to the shoulder and neutral. Good. So we're going to add on to that. Drop to the shoulder and then look down toward your armpit. Come back to ear to shoulder and back to neutral. Good. We're going to do 5 of those. So that was 1. Drop the ear toward the shoulder. Don't over effort. Look down at your armpit. Look back out toward the camera and up. Good. That's 2. Relax your jaw. Take it back to neutral and up. Notice your breath. Good. Last one. Ear, armpit, back to the ear and up, and roll both shoulders. We're going to go to the other side. So first it's just ear towards shoulder and up. Good. Ear towards shoulder and up. We're going to add to it, if it makes sense for you, ear to shoulder. Try to keep that shoulder relaxed. Drop the nose down toward the armpit. Come back to neutral and up. Good. Let's do that again. Ear and armpit. Don't hold your breath. Back to the ear and up and down. Relax your jaw. What I found is I had to actually keep my mouth open a little bit. Good. Keep some space between the teeth, because particularly on this side, I was really guarding. And up, we've got 1 left. So dropping the ear, looking down at your armpit, coming back to that neutral space and up. Good. Roll the shoulders, everybody. Ooh, good. Shake that out. Grab your strap. We're going to do one more thing. Actually, I think I'll now skip your strap for now. I decided to do that maybe later. Arms come out to the sides, crisscross. And then open wide, palms are facing forward, and crisscross the other way. Open. Exhale. Good. Big inhale. Big exhale. Open. And crisscross. Good. Last 2. Open. And crisscross. Open. And crisscross. And then open nice and wide. Take it up. Turn the palms down. Good. Reach up and down. Reach it up So again, when we're sick, when we've got a cold or respiratory thing, the breath gets super shallow. Last one here. And exhale. And we want to try to move all of that air through the lungs. Take one hand down, reach the other one over. And again, pause here. Notice the posture, right? What's going on with the ribs? Are you rolling the shoulder forward? Can you find that breath? And take it up. Exhale the other way. Again, relax the jaw. Maybe a little space between the teeth so that we're not clenching. Take it up. Cactus arms, baby twist here. Roll the shoulders back. Inhale up. Cactus arms, twist the other way. And arms up. Exhale all the way down. Good. Roll that out, everybody. All right. So you're going to find one foot. Socks can really even stay on. I'll take mine off for now. So find a way to comfortably access one foot. And maybe you're cross-legged, maybe you're in a really low figure four. But start by really rolling the ankle. Just big roll here and roll the other way. And breathe. And then scrunch your toes and spread them out as wide as you can. Try to get space between every toe. And then scrunch and open. Good. Scrunch and open. Relax that. If you're comfortable with this, you don't have to do this, but if you're comfortable with it, take one finger between each toe. They'll go down at varying depths and then circle the wrist or circle the ankle while pulling on those feet, on those toes. And then release, but pull the toes. Like I'm really trying to pull the toes off of the foot and let that go. And then stamp that foot down. And we did this on a Friday class. So right between the big toe and the second toe, there's a little bit of a groove. I want you to take your finger or your thumb into that groove and find your tender spot. Almost all of us have it. And when you find that tender spot, just rub it. Just rub it. So this is an acupuncture point. And please don't hold me to all the exact where it is and what it does. But I used to go to an acupuncturist all the time, and she used to treat this one, and she used to call it kind of the trash point, or the point where it helps release toxins from the body. So again, when we're not feeling great, if you have a headache, this was always a point that she used. And again, if it's tender, just give it a good rub. I don't think you're going to hurt anything. And release, and then just rub the top. Good. Shake that leg out. Go to the second side. So starting just with that foot kind of loose, circle that ankle. See, I already feel like I'm breathing a little better. Circle the other way. Oh, good. And then scrunch your toes and spread them out. Spread, try to find a little space between them. Good. Scrunch and spread. And then again, if you're comfortable, take one finger between each toe. Hold on to those toes, circle the ankle. And I'm circling at the same time I'm pulling. So, and then pull on the toes and just give them a little shake. Just kind of shake that out and let go. And then plant that foot, find the groove between the big toe and the second toe. And you may find, and if you don't find the tender spot, just work down, because for me, it's down a good inch probably. down that groove, and then I find that tender spot. I'm like, oh yeah, that's it exactly. And then just rub a little circle, a little rub, a little whatever feels right. Breathe. It's either a liver point or a large intestine point, I think, in acupuncture. Um, I used to know them better. Just give it a little rub. You can even move your toes a little. Whew. Good. And then just rub the whole top of that foot and let that go. Good. Crisscross those legs or sit in a way that makes sense to you. You're going to take, I probably should have done face first. Sorry about that. If you have glasses on, maybe take the glasses off. And you're going to find your little eyebrows and give the very corners, inner corners of those eyebrows a little squeeze. If you feel like you should go wash your hands first, go ahead and do that. Sorry, I should have done the face first. And then walk the fingers out a little bit, squeeze, squeeze, squeeze until you go all the way to the tips. And then take both index fingers. So, right at the inner edge of the eyebrows, there's a little dip. And again, you might feel that's a little bit tender. Um, and if you find that little tender spot, just give it a little rub, just give it a little circle. So these are specific for breathing and sinus issues, that kind of stuff. Oof, good. And then smooth out your eyebrows. Like you've got these really wiry, crazy eyebrows, and you got to smooth them down. And then take your two index fingers and go straight up your forehead and back to the bridge of your nose. So straight up to the hairline or where the hairline used to be. And one more. And then take all your fingers and just kind of deeply move the skin on your forehead. Yep. And then work your way to your temples. Now, in the temples, they're always tender, almost always tender. Don't dig in deep. Just nice, easy circles. That's it. And then release that, shake all that out. You're going to go to the outer cheekbones, one or two fingers, and just press right up along the bottom edge of those cheekbones until you start to come into the middle. Whew. Yep. All the way. And then a couple fingers right under the cheekbones, right out on either side of the nose. And if you happen to be stuffy and this is making you not breathe, just do one side at a time. And then find that tender spot. Whew. Deep breath in, deep breath out. Almost done with this. And release, shake that out. All right, last one here. You're going to take one or two fingers right at that corner of your jaw. And again, just be mindful, don't dig in deep, but it's almost like I'm trying to hook the finger underneath the jaw. And maybe do one side at a time. Let's just do one side at a time. So, right in that little corner, just at the bottom edge of that jawbone corner, you might find a little tender spot. If you're coughing a lot or sniffling or just clenching your jaw, this can get tender. And then just slowly work your way down toward the middle of your chin. One more. Good. And then go to the other side. So you don't want to be up here by the ear. That's a really yucky kind of point. You want to be down at the jawbone and then find that little tender spot if there is one. And work your way down to the middle. Good. Release that. Shake that out. We've got one left, and then we're going to we're going to move on. I'll turn around. I want you to interlace your hands behind you. And then your thumbs are loose. Drop the thumbs down to wherever it meets down at your neck, right at the base of the skull. And then use those thumbs to kind of massage that area. And you might want to go in a quarter inch or out a quarter inch. But again, this can be super tender, especially if you've been sick or have had a cold. Just a nice massage there. This is really nice for headaches. Oh, good. And let that go. Give it a good shake out. And then now grab your strap. Sorry about that. A little. All right, so you've got your strap. If it's a long one, you can fold that in half. Take the arms up. As you exhale, bend the elbows behind you. And really pay attention to tension in the neck or the jaw or the breath. So exhale, inhale up, exhale, and up, exhale. Good. Couple more, just stretching out all those muscles that get tight again when we have a cold or something's going on. And then bring it forward, roll the shoulders, and relax. Set your strap aside. Let's come into Janu Sirsasana. So one leg straight, one leg bent. Always can put a block underneath the knee. If your knee, especially, see, my knee lays down pretty easily, but if your knee is normally up here, which is perfectly normal for your body, support it so that there's not a ton of strain there. And then you can use your strap as well over the extended leg's foot. So inhale it up, exhale, take it forward, roll the shoulders back, pause here, and then just kind of wiggle the shoulders and the side body. Again, space between the teeth. So we're asking the nervous system to just release a little bit. So it's not just your normal everyday Janu. I'm just going to wiggle. Maybe I'm wiggling side to side on the hip. Maybe I'm moving through the shoulders. And then eventually you're going to find this spot that feels nice in your particular body. Please don't overly round. And in particular, don't drop the head, top of the head toward the leg. At least try to keep that neutral. And then hold here for a moment. Deep breath. Space between the teeth. Let go of the tension. And then remember that diaphragmatic breathing, that expansion through the middle back and the middle body. Bring that breath back in. So taking a nice, easy breath in and exhaling it out. Inhale. Exhale. Good. Just one more here. Inhale. Exhale. And then walk your torso all the way up until you're sitting straight up. Inhale, reach the arms up. Whichever knee is bent, the other side goes down, the other hand goes down, and we stretch. Inhale up. Exhale, let go. Bend that knee. Grab your foot, your knee, your ankle, anywhere that you can hold on to. Take the other arm up. And breathe. Just stretch, stretch, stretch. And let go. And lower that leg. Good. Release that side. Give everything a good shake. And let's go to second side. So coming back into Janu on the second side. Again, make sure you take care of that knee and inner thigh if the knee is higher. Inhale, reach the arms up. Exhale, forward fold. Let the hands come where they will. And then again, kind of move, shake, release, space between the teeth. Maybe you rock a little side to side. Maybe as you move those hands forward, you feel the side body expanding out, just kind of wiggling. And there's no right, wrong, right? We just feel what the body is asking of us at the moment. And then come to center, soften the shoulders. Try not to drop the top of the head toward the knee. Relax the jaw. Don't overdo the stretch, everybody. I know some of you are not going to go too deep into this forward fold. Soften the muscles. Breathe. Think of that diaphragmatic breathing. Good. Walk yourself up. Oh, roll those shoulders, everybody. Bend that knee. Grab your foot. Take that leg up. Other arm up. Just stretch out that whole back of that leg, calf muscle, Achilles, the foot. And let go. And take it down. Straighten both legs. Give them a good shake. And then come into Baddha Konasana, soles of the feet together. And this is going to be just a little bit more dynamic, right? So you're just going to take the legs in and out. Good. In and out. In, out. Good. Just two left. Last one. Hold right here. I realize I forgot to do one thing on that other side. We'll come back to it. And then just a little flutter here, just a little easy, easy. Depending on the way your hips are built, we've talked about this before, determines really how much these legs go out to the sides. It's not a deficiency if your knees aren't low to the floor. If your hips are facing more forward, your knees are going to be up here as one possibility. So never, never, never force. All right, so you're going to leave one leg where it is, take the other leg all the way out to the side and just get a sense. What does that feel like in the body? Do I need to sit up on something? Do I need to cushion the knee? All of those things. Inhale, reach up. Exhale, again, taking the hands forward. This is going to hit this inner thigh a little bit. Again, don't overdo it. Maybe you wiggle. Maybe breathe. But I mean, definitely breathe. Keeping space between the teeth so that the jaw does not lock up. If the jaw isn't locked up, the breath will go a little bit easier. Breathe. And just hold for a moment. Good. Couple more here. And then walk the hands up, bend that knee, grab again your foot, your ankle, or behind the knee, and it's out to the side. And you might be a little tilty. I'm up on blankets, so it's just kind of throwing that off a little bit, but just find where you can to stabilize. And then take a really deep breath in, diaphragmatic breathing, and exhale. Good. Bring it forward. Lower it down. Come back to Baddha Konasana and just shake that baby out. If you're getting chilly, rub your hands. And let's go to other side. So you're simply going to extend all the way out. Inhale, reach up. Exhale, take it forward. Breath in, breath out. Maybe you wiggle. Just don't let it be kind of formulaic. Like let your body take you where it wants to go, short of Shavasana at the moment. And see where you're carrying that tension. Is it side body? Like, is it all through here? Is it in the neck? Can you find that? And then pausing at the center. Soften the shoulders. Don't hold the breath. And come on up. Bend that knee. You're going to keep it out to the side. Other arm goes out to the side. Hold. And center. And release. Good. Shake both legs out, everybody. And just give them a good shake. Flex the feet, Dandasana pose. Hands come down to your sides. Open the arms out to the sides, crisscross. And open. Exhale, crisscross. Open. And crisscross. Good, open. And cross. One more both ways. And cross. Good, arms out. Take them up. Try to soften as if you were climbing up a wall or grabbing a rope ahead of you, and stretch that side body. Sorry, try to keep the legs a little active. Mine just went to sleep a little bit. Open up, lift the arms, and exhale all the way down. And again, roll that out. Just roll it out. Let's release this fully. Come to table pose. Maybe a blanket underneath the knees, taking care of those knees. Your blocks are to the front of your mat. Table pose here, everybody. And start with a few cats and cows. And stay with the breath. As you inhale, everything opens up, little cow pose. And as you exhale, the belly curls in. But now, close the eyes and once again, just go, okay, what does this body need? Maybe you walk the hands a little forward and stretch back. Maybe you do some circles. Space between the teeth. Allow your breath to go very easy here. Maybe you round up and come into a little baby back bend. Stretching everything out. Do a few hip circles here in one direction. And then circle it the other way. One more. Come back to the center. Your hands are a little farther, a little forward. And then walk both hands to the left. Drop the chest toward the floor and press back toward the right. Relax your jaw. Press it up. Take those hands to the middle and walk both hands to the right. Same thing, dropping the chest toward the floor and stretching out, pressing toward the left. Press it up. Back to table pose, step forward, right leg, keeping that left knee on the floor. Grab your blocks and coming into just a really, really easy lunge. And just noticing, right? And again, even here, are we putting a ton of tension on our shoulders because we're using the blocks and our hands are carrying the weight? And then just start to shimmy the shoulders, like bring the right shoulder forward and then bring the left shoulder forward. Especially on the left side, you might feel the left quad stretch more as we go back into belly a little bit deeper. Come back to center. Take your hands or your forearms to your thigh or above your knee and just hold. This is a yin-ish pose, right? A longer hold, just stretching that quad back here if you want to or need to. You can either back off a little bit or make sure you're squeezing the back glutes some to give it a little bit more integrity, a little more structure. Take your hands back to your blocks, everybody. Straighten the front knee and stretch. Hands can stay on the blocks. I just lowered mine. They can come to the floor. If you have a tendency to hyperextend your knee in poses like this, I would just take a block right underneath the calf muscle at any level that you need to. Just breathe. And same thing here again. Try not to drop the top of the head. Keep the head somewhat neutral. Stretching out through that back of the leg, back of the hamstring. Bend that front knee. Release it and switch sides. Left foot forward. Right knee back. Wherever you want to go with this is up to you. Take the blocks up high and then try to keep the weight on the hands soft. And then again, left shoulder forward, right shoulder forward. Just stretching it out. Notice the difference one side to the other. And then take everything back to center. Maybe the forearms come to the thigh. Breathe. Good. Hands come back to your block, everybody. Block, straighten the front leg. Remember a block under the calf muscle if you tend to hyperextend. Breathe. And bend that front leg. Remove those blocks, just set them in front of you. Step back to table pose. Take your knees nice and wide. Sit the hips back. Child's pose. And then stack one hand on top of the other and use that um, for your pillow so that the forehead is resting on the hands and your neck again is pretty neutral. And if your head is still really dropping, stack one fist on top of the other and take the head up a little higher. Breathe. Notice your breath here, right? The belly can drop between those knees if you're in this particular pose. The ribs expand, the diaphragm expands. Release that. Bring those knees back together, back to table pose. Cat and cow. Find the breath. And then come a little bit more neutral and shift the left hip out to the left and then just look over the left shoulder. Space between the teeth. Don't hold your breath. Come back to the middle. Shift the right hip out toward the right and then look over the right shoulder. And release. Step forward with the right foot. Grab your blocks. One, the knee is down. Two, the back knee is up. You're in a lunge here. We're keeping it pretty low today. So when you're here, try not to overweight the blocks, or you're going to take those hands, those forearms to your knee. Stay low. If your knee is lifted, make sure that's a solid leg back there, not too soft, I guess. And even if you're staying low with that knee, maybe it's a little bit of an engagement of the left glute. Big deep breath, everybody. Creating some space here. Good. Take the left hand back to your block and take the right arm up. Nice, easy twist here. Again, opening, moving through the spine, getting rid of all this stuck stuff. Breathe. Only if you want, top hand goes behind. Take the arm up. Release back to your blocks. And then straighten the front leg. Again, back knee can be down. This is just a variation here, pyramid pose. Keep it soft. Maybe you wiggle just a little. Find all those stuck spots. And breathe. I keep my head up just a little higher here. Deep breath in. Deep breath out, everyone. What can you do to soften, right? So we try to sometimes go deep into the poses. What can we do to soften? Maybe the back foot drops to the inside position a little bit. Maybe the blocks, I just put my blocks up higher so that my shoulders weren't taking all the tension. And bend your front knee, lower your back knee. Woo. And switch sides. Bringing the left foot forward, the right foot back. Again, staying on the knee or lifting that knee. If the knee's lifted, fire that leg up a bit so that it supports your pose. And softness on the blocks. Maybe your forearms come to your thighs and you hang out for a little bit. Contemplate the life or or your breath. Soft, everybody. Maybe notice again if your baby in a cold here that the breathing's feeling a little bit better. Good. And then everybody, right hand goes to your block, the left arm goes up, and we stretch. You could do a little peace sign. Breathe. Maybe that arm comes behind the waist. Keeping the pose, whichever one you've chosen. Good, arm goes up. Hand comes down to your blocks, the front leg straightens. Maybe you wiggle here just a little. And maybe find your breath. Deep breath in, deep breath out. Bend the front knee, drop that back knee, take both knees back, and then either child's pose or hero pose, or sit up on a block. Good. You saw me shake all that out. You can move your blocks out of the way for now. You won't need them. Just breathe. So if you have chosen hero pose, even sitting up on blocks, if that's possible for you, we're going to just take the hands back and lean back. So we're stretching the tops of the quads, the front of the legs. If you're not sitting in this way, and you can do this sitting up on blocks, so it's not about that. But if your knees just won't allow that, I think you could lay on your side and bring that leg, bring the top leg behind so it would look more like this. Okay? So don't hurt yourself. Whatever you do, don't hurt yourself. All right, but we're just going to lean back. Maybe lift one knee and lower, and lift the other knee and lower. Come on up. And if you can, again, please be mindful here, especially those of you dealing with foot injuries. If you can, you're going to flip those toes under, get those pinky toes involved, and then sit back on the heels. So many acupuncture points on the feet. And so we are just giving them a good stretch here. Breathe. And release. And then come back to a little seated pose. And again, you could sit up on blanket or block. So once again, I want you to access the feet. But this time you're going to take the heel of your hand and you're going to go right into the arch of your foot, or you can use knuckles, okay? So it's the bottom of the foot, and you're going to take the arch or the heel of your hand into the arch, into the middle space of the foot, and just kind of circle all around that. And then you can take your knuckles if you want, dig those in, or even better, your thumbs. Your thumbs are much more pointed, so there'll be a lot more sensation as you work around the whole arch of the foot. Good. And then switch feet. So I start with the kind of the palm of the or the heel of the hand. So it's kind of like blunt object versus pointed object. And that might be enough, right? Your feet might be really tender. And then you can go into the knuckles. And then eventually maybe thumbs. Tennis ball, by the way, I was doing a tennis ball before class, just working the feet with that, releasing some of that stuck stuff there. And then release. So sitting cross-legged, if you can, I know that's not going to be for everybody. If you cannot, I would come here and just do a nice forward fold like that, or cross and walk the hands forward. You may not go far at all, but then shift the hips back. Some of you can walk those hands out. Be mindful of your jaw, your neck, and what you're doing with your head. And once again, some of you can come all the way down. Maybe the arms make a pillow, the hands make a pillow. And you breathe. Jaw soft. Think about expanding through the center line of your body. Walk those hands up. And if you can, switch legs or switch the forward fold part of how you have your legs if they're not crisscross. And then again, start to walk them down. Just trust. It's always going to feel different here. Maybe you come down low. Good. Press up. Release both legs, straighten, shake them out. And then come back into a pose, into a seat that feels good to you. Cover up my little feet because they're getting cold. Arms come to cactus. Good. Bring them in and out and in. 3, 4, 5, 5 more. Think about a pump. 4, 3, 2, and 1, and release. Good. Roll the shoulders, everybody. Going to do one more breath work. So instead of doing the shush, we're going to hum so that you'll feel the vibration in the face and ideally, right, at least theoretically, the vibration of the sinus cavities, which are up here and in the cheeks, and just kind of release and tone it. And I think of this almost like Ujjayi breath, right? Darth Vader breath, where the back of the throat is a little bit constricted, but it's really a hum. And so you're just going to take a normal inhale in, and then keeping the lips pretty closed, you're going to and inhale. Inhale. Two more. Last one. And then just breathe. Now, this is, again, if you have glasses on, just take those glasses off and rub your hands together until they feel nice and toasty and warm, and then place them over your eyes. Jaw soft. Good. One more right here. And a good rub. And over the eyes. Soft, soft, soft. Release those hands. And then Shavasana, either seated or go ahead and lay down, whatever feels good for you. It's going to be a little bit short. If you're seated or really laying down, it could be more of a meditation, which I often think of Shavasana as a meditation. But it is a real softness of the body and um, nowhere about doing it correctly, nowhere about doing it right. Just find what feels good wherever your hands are, wherever your body is, the shoulders. The only thing I ask is that you just notice your breath and keep a little bit of space between the teeth so that you don't tighten the jaw. The eyes soften closed. And you realize that you do know what to do to take care of your body. And you vow to honor that process. Soften the jaw. Soften the belly. Those of you who are ready, start to move your body in a way that feels good. If you're in full Shavasana, maybe drawing the knees to the chest. And feel the breath deepen a little bit, right, as we wake ourselves up. And then find yourself coming back to a seat. Inhale, reach up. Exhale to your heart. Bow to your own inner strength and wisdom. Namaste, everyone. Thank you so much for coming to class and being with me today.